We are going to evaluate integrals today using U substitution. So if you look through or look at this first example, okay, so remember this integral symbol means antiderivative. Okay, we have 3 times 3x minus 2 to the third. Okay. What you want to do first, so I'm going to kind of just make a list of steps here. So the first thing we're going to do is pick out what we want to make U. Okay, U is always going to be the part inside the parentheses. Or sometimes it won't be parentheses, sometimes it'll be like a square root or a cube root. Okay, so U is always going to be the part inside the parentheses. So for this problem, the 3x minus 2, that is going to be U. Okay, you do not include the exponent. Okay, then what we want to do after that is find du. Okay, which is just, remember, d stands for derivative, so that's just the derivative of u. Okay, so I'm going to go back here to what I picked from u, and I'm going to take the derivative of this expression. Okay, we're not doing the antiderivative yet. Okay, we're not doing the add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent. We're just doing the regular derivative here. Okay, so the derivative of 3x is just 3. Okay, remember that's take your exponent, multiply it. 3 times 1 would be 3. Subtract 1, that would make your exponent 0, so just 3. And then the derivative of just a number is 0. Okay, so this is the first two steps. Find u, pick out u from the given, and then we're going to take the derivative of whatever we pick for u. Okay. Then our next step, okay, in the given info, we always want to make sure we've matched du if needed. Okay, and that is going to be in the integral part, so in the given. Okay, so u will always be in the integral because we picked that out from the given info. Okay, then du. Okay, so this part's u right here. Then I want to make sure I also have this in there. Okay, so that part's du. So this one, it already matches. Okay, sometimes it won't. We'll do one in a minute where it doesn't match. Okay. Then the next step, okay, is we want to rewrite this integral in terms of u. So we just want to rewrite it as, usually it's going to look like u to some power. So we're just kind of subbing in the u part. Okay, so this part right here, it's like we're getting rid of the 3x minus 2, and I'm changing it to a u. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this part as u, okay, but then I still have the exponent, so it's going to be u to the third. Once we've matched du, okay, remember when we do the antiderivative, like this dx, it doesn't mean anything. It just means the derivative. So once we've matched du, the du part can just disappear. Okay, so once you've matched it, it's just gone. You're always doing the antiderivative of just the u part. Okay, so once we've matched du, we're done with it. You're just looking at the part with u. Okay. Then, once you've rewritten it in terms of u, then you're actually ready to do the antiderivative. Okay, so if I go here and do the antiderivative, this is when we add 1 to the exponent, so that's going to be 4. This is like a 1. Then I'm going to divide by that new exponent, and then I'm going to put a plus c. Okay, and then your very last step is to put whatever we picked out for u back into the equation. Okay, so I'm going to replace the u with the 3x minus 2. So that my final answer is going to be not 1/2, but 1/4 times 3x minus 2 to the 4th, and then plus c. Remember, every time you're doing an antiderivative, you get a plus c. Okay. And that will be our final answer. So let's look at another one where u doesn't match from the given. So for number 2, we have the antiderivative of x times 3 minus x squared to the third. Okay. So first thing I want to do is pick out u. Okay. That's going to be the inside part. Okay, so u is going to be 3 minus x squared. It's always the part inside the parentheses. Okay. Then, once I've picked out u, I want to take the derivative of what I picked right here. So the derivative of 3, that's just 0. The derivative of negative x squared, remember you bring the exponent in front, so that's going to be negative 2x to the first. Now that I've picked out u, so this part's u, this needs to match. Okay, so the part that's not u, which is the x in this case, needs to match this negative 2x. So what I'm missing is the negative 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make it match, I'm just going to rewrite my integral. I always like to put the u part first. So u is 3 minus x squared to the third. Okay, you don't drop this exponent. Okay, this needs a negative 2 in front of it to make it match this. Okay, so since inside the integral, since I added a negative 2, I can't just I multiplied by a negative 2. I can't just add in extra numbers in here. Okay, so what I need to do is counteract it. So since I multiplied by negative 2 outside, since I multiplied by negative 2 inside, I need to divide by negative 2 on the outside. So I'm just going to put a 1 over negative 2 right there since there's not a number outside. Okay, so if you have to multiply by a number inside to make it match du, okay, because I needed this x to exactly match this. So since it's missing the negative 2, I multiplied by it inside, so I have to divide by it or do the reciprocal of it outside. Okay, so now du matches. So now I've made this match, so I'm ready to rewrite this in terms of u. Okay, so you just leave the negative 1/2 outside. Okay, this part, the inside part, is always going to be u. So that's the part that's always going to turn into u. And the exponent's always going to stay. And then remember, when you match du, it goes away. You're done with it. Okay, like dx doesn't do anything when we take the derivative. Same thing with du. It doesn't do anything when we take the derivative. Okay, so once you've matched it, it's done. It just goes away. When we do the antiderivative, that part will disappear. Okay. Now that we've written it in terms of u, we can do the antiderivative. So add 1, divide by the new exponent. So my new exponent is going to be 4. That's going to make my coefficient 1/4. But then I need to multiply it by the negative 1/2 that's out in front. And then don't forget your plus c. Okay, so the negative 1/2 doesn't go to the c. It just goes to the part with the u. So negative 1/2 times 1/4 is going to be negative 1/8. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. So that'll be negative 1/8 u to the 4th plus c. Then the last thing I need to do is put what I picked out for u back into the equation. So my final answer is going to be negative 1/8 times 3 minus x squared to the 4th plus c. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more example like this, and then we will do a couple with radicals in them. So on our third example, we've got 9x squared times x cubed plus 3 to the second. Okay, so u is going to be x cubed plus 3. Okay, the part inside the parentheses. So this is u. So we're done with this whole thing. It's been used. Then du is going to be the derivative of this. So that's just going to be 3x squared. Okay, move the exponent in front, subtract 1. Okay, remember the du part is just the regular derivative. Okay, so now I always need to match du. Okay, so I need to take this 9x squared. I want to make it match the 3x squared. Okay, so first, they have different coefficients. So if they have different coefficients, the first thing I'm going to do is take the 9 in the original problem and move it to the outside. So if there's an extra number with du that doesn't match, you can just move it outside the integral. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and write the part with u. So I'm going to write my x cubed plus 3 squared. Okay. X squared, you don't ever want to take an x outside the integral, okay, because this x squared matches my du. Okay, so I've got the x squared. I just need to multiply it by a 3 to make this and this match. So since I multiplied by 3 inside, I need to divide by 3 outside to counteract it. Okay, so now that these two things match, I'm ready to switch it over to u. Okay, so remember, once you match du, we're done with it. We're just looking at the part with u now. Okay, so outside the integral, 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. Okay, the inside part is u, and that exponent stays. Okay, now we're ready to do the antiderivative. So if I add 1, that's going to be 3. Okay, so my new coefficient is going to be 1 over 3. Okay, then I have to take that and multiply it by the 3 that's outside the integral, and then tack on my plus c. Okay, so 3 times 1/3 is just 1, so that's going to be u to the 3rd plus c. And then for our final answer, we just need to sub in the x cubed plus 3 back in for u. So you keep the exponent, you just replace the u part with whatever you picked out in the beginning. We're going to do a couple more examples with roots, but I'm going to go ahead and do that in the next video so that I don't get cut off.